Hello, heya, and welcome. I am going to talk about Eggy today. I really don't know what to talk about her. But you fans decided this was a good idea, so sure, why the heck not? Instead of talking about what Eggy did on the show, let's see what she could have done if she made it farther. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, huh? Let's just have this. Here, yep, Eggy plush. It'll be around, tell me how many of these you find in the video. But to see what Eggy could do in the show, let's quickly see what she had done in her short time with us. Eggy started the show, similarly to how Clock started, just a loser follower. And well, there really wasn't much going on with her, the losers really only let Loser shine. But I do think once Loser was out, we got to see more of Eggy. Right? Well, she befriended Teardrop and Leafy. And well, it's unclear if her friendship with Leafy remained. It seems that she's way more reclusive than we thought. Once the split happened, we see her part ways with Cake and Clock. And head towards a stronger future. Meeting Basketball was probably the best thing to happen to her character. I genuinely thought Eggy and Basketball would have been the new GB and TB. Just with a new flair. Like Basketball shows off a new invention, and Eggy hypes it up to the team. Or something like that. Instead, we got a different kind of flavor. Eggy and Basketball hit it off pretty well at the start, and Eggy was even appointed co-captain by Basketball, even though she didn't really know it yet. And when Eggy fails her first time in charge, the team blows up. And the fanbase judged her hard for this, since they didn't really like Eggy much already due to her outburst towards Clock. This character just seemed to be going downwards. We then see her be Basketball's right-hand girl, but how much help is she really? She ignores TV's and Robot Flower's call for help, she fails to support the team in the tundra, and well, the aforementioned blow-up in Teapot too. You see, we don't get to see much of her, and what we see is pretty telling that she wasn't the best in a team environment. Although she did try. Plus the writers seemed more interested in developing Snowball, and make him Basketball's go-to for stuff. Well, we've seen that the writers didn't use her much, but a small detail is that Eggy was planned to be used in the Robot Flower and Basketball arc, in some way. So they definitely had ideas to step her up. Not sure who they really expected to get out in episode 5 though. So let's say she beats Belle, yeah, no more of her. Sorry Belle fans, suck to suck. What would the writers have her do in the next challenge? I think Eggy would more so just try to follow orders, similar to Belle, she wants to keep a low profile for sure. Although definitely be a bit rude to Grassy at the start, but when he helps out, realizes he isn't useless. Thus learning to appreciate him by the end of the episode, gaining her some good girl points by Grassy fans. She actually does say hi to Teardrop, and wants to talk to her for a bit, but decides hurrying back to her team is best, they can talk after the challenge. And this I think is desperately what the writers needed to do, have smaller interactions of her and TD, so you know they really are friends. Sadly the strongest team on Earth doesn't get much screen time this episode, but next episode they get more, thanks to the new arc happening. Eggy would be glad to take the leadership role while Basketball is gone, and gives the idea of using Snowball as a roof. Honestly, to me this is an Eggy idea. Belle doesn't strike me as the kind of girl to smush other people. But Eggy? Yep, definitely wants to flatten others. And thanks to her and Grassy's new friendship, he willingly does what she tells him to. So, a small plot hole that would need fixing is that without Belle, the failed deputies can't escape now. So, let's say Eggy is smart and resourceful here. She tells Grassy to pull out a few more wires and she makes a rope out of them like how teammates did. And they climb out of there, and then the scene plays out as normal. And Eggy asks Basketball what's wrong with Robot Flower, and Basketball explains to her what happened, but Eggy gives her a snarky remark about how she doesn't need to yell or something, lol. The next episode plays, and honestly, everything Belle says on the balance beam here is exactly what I think Eggy would have said. And that this new aggressive Robot Flower is way more stronger and better for the team. Snowball actually agrees with her, and that they need to be stronger. After Basketball is knocked out by Robot Flower, I think Eggy's co-leadership would take over, instead of Snowball's here. Snowball doesn't exactly likes her, but respects her treating Grassy nice, so he listens to her. She thinks they can trick Robot Flower to be more supportive to the team so she doesn't betray them as often. Eggy remembers from Teardrop telling her how Flower softened up to others was by feeding her ego, and she thinks this is exactly what they need to do. She tells Snowball and Grassy to just suck up to Robot Flower and tell her how helpless and weak they are compared to her, and how they need her to take out the other losers for them. Robot Flower of course happy to have people at her feet, beckoning to her, does this, and it goes well until Teardrop/Vomit Drop enters the scene. Snowball and Eggy are alarmed to see her so weak, and she and Grassy kick off Robot Flower. but then are left with the dilemma. Eggy tells her they can't knock her out, she is her friend. And Snowball adds it doesn't feel fair to hurt her when she's weak. The episode plays out normally afterward, with Are You OK attacking strongest team, and Eraser actually pushes Eggy off and Teardrop notices this. TB and Pen sacrifice themselves to get Snowball off, and so Grassy is left to stay safe. The reason why Eraser pushing Eggy matters, is because I personally don't like how TB betrays him after he helps her up. It feels out of character, even for her. But this way it's a bit of vengeance for Eggy. The next episode starts, and without Belle they are kinda just fighting off the undead, while Robot Flower is just relaxing. Eggy gets the smart idea to trick Robot Flower to fight off the zombies, and since she's metal, it works really well. Snowball of course does die here, so we can see more Eggy and Basketball, plus Eggy and Grassy moments. The team is bonding a bit more. I'm setting up that Eggy is next eliminated. Honestly, these last few moments are necessary for the character to end on a good note. The episode doesn't focus too much on strongest team honestly, but what it does highlight is that Robot Flower does switch sides and the story plays out roughly the same. Robot Flower is tired of having other people tell her what to do and is now just working independently from now on. And that makes Basketball point out how much of a threat she is, and Eggy finally agrees to help her in resetting her. Eggy, a bit sad, isn't helping as much on the team next episode. Teardrop just got out, and her plan didn't work out the best, and Robot Flower is even more haywire than before. They are put in RF's head and BB gets the idea to download themselves outside of her head. I think Grassy would do the button time, which would make the console break. Eggy snaps and tells Grassy how irresponsible he is. Snowball calls her out and Basketball tells her to calm down. But Robot Flower wakes up and things only get worse for them. Eggy takes a breath and remembers what happened last time she did this with Clock and apologizes to Grassy and explains their plan out loud for Robot Flower to hear. The episode plays out much like normal after this and their team loses. Basketball and Eggy talk it out and they forgive each other. I think this is a good end point for Eggy's character arc. She learned to be a bit more social and understanding of her allies. Mistakes she did in BFB with Clock and Leafy. The moment she had problems with them, she stopped talking to them. But she worked hard with her new friendships, and is closer to BB, Grassy, and even SB. And frankly, I think this wouldn't be too unbelievable for the character. Here's a few extra stuff I think this rewrite fixes for Eggy. Eggy has never struck me as an important character, but she really had the makings for a great one. And with this rewrite, I hope I can do you Eggy fans justice. Her role of being a bit of friction on the team that's in between Robot Flowers and Basketball could really work, and honestly, is better than whatever Belle was doing LMAO. So thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, we're trying to get 1,500 subs by this month.